This is Paul, Jess, and Alex. They're three real hustlers, and they're all experts on cons and scams. Alex is a skilled cheat and sleight-of-hand specialist who can steal from right under a victim's nose. Paul is an expert on gambling scams, frequently working for Las Vegas casinos as a consultant. Jess looks sweet and innocent but loves to deceive, especially the opposite sex. For this programme, the three of them have been travelling the UK to show our hidden cameras some of the most popular scams being performed illegally by con gangs all over Britain today. And then they'll teach us the secrets behind the cons to make sure you never get cheated again. This is The Real Hustle. Coming up, learn how the hustlers pinch a £600 necklace from a high street jeweller's, rent out a flat that doesn't belong to them, and show you how to avoid your PC being attacked by the keylogger scam. Remember, all the people in this show have been hustled for real, and after they were given their money back, they agreed the footage could be shown so that you could avoid being ripped off by the same scams. Alex has got a game for you to play at home. All you have to do is watch the disc with the white spot. Where is it? In the middle? No, you've just been caught by one of the oldest tricks in the book. The Monty.
The Monty scam dates back hundreds of years from the Mississippi riverboats of the Old West to the modern-day streets of New York. And it's an excellent example of a scam that has genuinely stood the test of time.
The big secret of the Monty scam is that it's 10% sleight of hand and 90% teamwork.
When people see a Monty game being played, they usually don't realise that it's actually a gang that is doing the scam. It's not just the man, the operator, throwing the discs. The Monty game is designed to separate a fool from his money.
Our three hustlers have come to the seaside to perform the Monty scam for our concealed cameras and to teach us the tricks behind this classic con. Even though the Monty is illegal, it is still played by hustlers all over the UK today. Our team have engaged the services of some local hustlers to help them out. They'll all be looking for a wealthy target, known as the Mark, to play the game. This passerby seems interested. He's their man. He's the Mark. Unknown to him, everyone else playing the game is in on it.
Pointing wins you nothing. Oh, you want to bet that one? Yeah. Because you pointed at this one.
No.
You want that one? The ladies first. Here we go.
It looks to our Mark like Jess has just won some money, but remember, she's in on it like everybody else.
Put this money down for me.
1,
if I tell you
2,
which one to put
3.
it on.
Jess is using her feminine charms to win over the Mark and convince him to bet with her money.
No, it's
Middle.
That one.
I'll tell you which one.
Loser, you got some money?
Cool, yeah,
Anyone
yeah.
else got some money?
Oh, you got to stay.
Yeah, it's your bet.
Great, our Mark is going to play with Jess's money.
Okay, look, watch. Look, watch. 1, 2, 3. That's all I'm doing.
That one there.
That's simple.
Yeah, easy.
Hang on. Is she helping you out? Because I said that one bet's from you.
With Jess's help, the Mark is now a winner.
Shall I give it straight to your girlfriend? Seriously?
Next bet. Go on.
You got some money on you. If you're going to stay, you're going to have to pay. You got some money?
Yeah, come on.
Get your money out. 50. I'll take your 50.
Alex and Jess have hooked him in, and now he's going to play with his own money, £50.
Ready? You ready? I'm going to do it nice and slow. Keep your eye on the middle one, yeah? That's all you got to keep your eye on. That one there. Because that one, that's a loser, right? This one, that's a loser, all right? Look.
Now it's time for Paul's part in the scam. While Alex turns away to cough, Paul switches two of the discs, apparently moving the spotted disc back to the middle. Our Mark thinks Paul is trying to trick Alex, but in fact, it's all part of the bigger scam to convince the Mark to bet. And it works perfectly. Everybody else joins in and bets as well, so our Mark won't feel so bad when he loses.
Yeah. Half of you are right, that's okay? But all of you are wrong. Boys, thank you.
saw people winning money, and you just kind of think, oh, well, I'll have a piece of that. It just kind of thought, it's definitely the one in the middle, it had to be. I thought this guy's giving it away or something. It was like, so easy. You can't win at this game. You know, the guy's an expert. They're all experts, just stay away. I was blagged, big time, big time.
We each have different roles, and they're all very different. I'm the operator, I handle the discs, and ultimately I'm the one who's going to have to do the sleight of hand moment. Jessie is used as a decoy and as a roper. She gets the mark in, she gets him to the right position, which is right at the front of the queue. What she does, which is very important in the very beginning, is she gives the mark a taste, a feel of what it's like to win money. So she hands the money over for him to bet it for her. Paul is our general lookout man. He's also responsible for the switch. The mark now thinks that, wow, I've beaten him. I've beaten the Monty man. I can put my money down.
So, what is the secret sleight of hand move behind the Monty scam? Watch closely as Alex throws down the disc with the spot. It looks like it goes on the table, doesn't it? But watch again in slow motion, and you can see that in actual fact, he doesn't throw the spotted disc, but throws the top disc instead, leaving the spotted disc in his hand. Watch again as he does the same with the 3 discs. Again, the top disc goes down on the table. But now he repeats the move to hide the spotted disc whilst apparently showing 2 blank discs. So it's not where you think it is, in the middle, it's actually on the left. Our mark didn't stand a chance.
This is more about deceiving people and getting them to give up property, money or possessions by trick, not by force. It does still occur, and there's still people out there that would fall for that, go up close in a small crowd and fall prey to, one, the trick itself, but more importantly, pickpockets working around them.
Look, if you walk up to a Monty game on the street, you are walking into a den of thieves. And Monty is just a way of mugging somebody without letting them know that they got mugged. And if it doesn't work, they'll mug you.
Our sexy swindler Jess has a taste for fine jewellery, but like all hustlers, she's not keen to pay for her expensive tastes. If she really was dishonest, this is how she could have got her hands on that necklace for absolutely nothing, with the help of accomplices Alex and Paul. This is the jewellery shop scam.
In the jewellery shop scam, we all have different parts to play. They're quite important parts. Myself and Paul play police officers, and Jessica plays a customer who enters the shop looking to buy a piece of jewellery.
It's sort of a double bluff because halfway through the hit, the police come in, played by Alex and Paul, and the shop staff think that the police have intercepted a thief, played by myself, but in actual fact, the con's still in full swing.
The hustlers have selected a small high street jeweller's as the perfect place to stage this scam. Unbeknown to the shop staff, our hidden cameras have been placed inside to cover the following action. Jess enters the shop first, looking well dressed and respectable.
Hi. God, it's so cold. I'm looking for a necklace.
She approaches the counter and talks to the staff about wanting to buy a new necklace.
Silver. Definitely.
Alex comes into the shop shortly after. He is apparently just another browsing shopper. And where's the third member of our team? Paul is outside ready to step in on cue.
Got a nice one here.
After some browsing, they show Jess a necklace that takes her fancy.
That's the sort of length.
Yes, quite nice.
How much is this one?
It's quite expensive, actually. 624.
Yeah, that's really...
The necklace is worth around £600, which is a suitable bit of swag for this scam. Jess seems happy with the choice and says she'll buy it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 600. 1, 2, 3, 4.
As she finishes counting the notes, Alex swoops in.
Okay, stop there, police.
What?
Walthamstow Police. Tracy, I'm placing you under arrest for deception and fraud. Leave that money on the counter. Please let my colleague in, please.
Flashing a fake police badge, he arrests Jess for passing counterfeit money. Will the shopkeepers buy his act?
We've been following her all day. There's been counterfeit cash. She's been passing it off for jewellers.
Can I have a look?
Yeah, go ahead.
The shocked shopkeepers have bought his line and the hook and sinker too. The hustlers insist the cash is forged and must be bagged as evidence. In fact, it's the gang's own hustle bankroll and is actually not forged at all.
All go in for evidence for her. I'm afraid that's part of the evidence as well now. You will get it back, obviously.
And there it is. Alex the fake copper has convinced the shopkeeper to bag up the £600 necklace as well.
I could ask you just to pop that in here. Thank you.
It's all going to plan. With the necklace bagged, the scam is complete. Our team of hustlers have cleverly choreographed a theft worth £600 from right under their noses.
Bitch, you could have cost me my job, you know that?
Beatrice.
The hustlers leave the shop claiming to be off to the police station.
Okay. I'll be back in an hour. I'm going to take a full statement from you, because obviously it'll go down as evidence for her, yeah?
Had this been a real scam, it would have been the last time the shopkeepers ever saw their expensive necklace. And just how convinced was the shopkeeper by our fake coppers?
The lady we dealt with was so shocked that that happened to her. And in a way, she was so relieved that we had prevented Jessie from virtually robbing the store that she completely put aside all her fears that we might not be genuine police officers.
So you're saying to me, what if all three of them were in on that? They'd have had me. They'd have had me then.
The best way people can guard against this scam is to always make sure people are who they say they are. If a police officer is genuine, then he'd be willing to show you identification, phone numbers that you can ring to confirm. They will prove who they say they are.
A proposition bet, everybody knows a proposition bet. It's basically, I can bet you I can do something. Will you bet against me that I can or cannot do this? You're talking about something that sounds absolutely impossible to do. So most people will tell you, well, there's no way that can be done. But if you turn to them and say, yes, there is a way that can be done, by this time, they're so curious just to see how this is going to work that usually they'll just pay a £5 just to see what happens.
A proposition bet is a great way to hustle a few free drinks and a meal.
And a few free drinks is exactly what Jess is after. And she spotted her Mark sitting on his own at the bar.
Thank you.
The Mark doesn't realise our secret cameras are covering his every move.
Everyone always looks at me weird whenever I order a pint. They expect me to order a glass of wine or something, probably, don't you?
That's good.
Sorry, I'm Jessica. What's your name? Andy.
Andy, yeah.
Andy. Everyone there thinks I'm so weird for drinking pints, but I can down a pint before a guy can down a shot. And everyone always laughs at me, but I really, really can.
Walking down a shot, you could down a pint.
Why are you laughing?
That's rubbish, because you can.
I can. You don't think I can?
Of course you can't.
You don't think I can do it?
It's a shot and a pint. I can do that with a.
Okay.
I would love you
Okay.
to.
I'll tell you what, we'll get 3 pints in. I'll get you 3 shots in. I really can, and I bet I can have my 3 pints before you can have your 3 shots.
All right, fine.
I really can. Okay, is there a bar lady?
All right.
Excuse me. Thank you. Okay. Well, if you really don't think I can do it, I'll tell you what, we'll make it more interesting. Have you got any money on you? You've got some money. How much money have you got on you?
20, 30, what, 10, 10?
Right, we got a tenner.
Yeah.
Okay, get your tenner out.
You're
You
serious,
see, you
right?
don't think I can do this.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a tenner. Put your money where your mouth is. There you go. You don't think I can do it, but you're a tenner that I can. Okay. Right. When I say go, you start. You don't touch my glasses, though. I don't touch your glasses. It's the only rule. When I say go, we start. Let me just finish this. You ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, go. Now you see I said I can't touch your glasses, you can't touch my glasses. So, thank you very much. Andy's paying for the drinks. Thank you very much. It was lovely to meet you.
Lovely, yeah.
Thank you.
Layers. Thanks.
And so the Mark's been conned from the first moment he took on the mad bet. The free drinks were always heading the hustler's way. Cheers. Con artists are constantly finding new ways to swindle us out of our money. But in an age of technology, their methods are growing increasingly complex and clever. British businesses are experiencing a growing wave of so-called cybercrime, both from insiders and organised high-tech crime gangs.
In April 2005, a gang targeted a Japanese bank in London. They were trying to steal £220 million by infiltrating the bank dressed as cleaning staff and using computer bugging devices to get information out of the bank that they could then make use of.
A simple device called a keylogger can be planted inside any keyboard. That keylogger is basically just a very small device that records every single keystroke that happens on that keyboard. Every time you press a button, that gets recorded.
This actually communicates the information either directly by somebody putting a device on and removing it secretly, or by having the information transmitted via cellular or Bluetooth signals to another source. If there are any holes in the system, hustlers will find it and they'll use it.
Today, the hustlers are going to show how the keylogger scam can be used by criminals in order to warn you of its dangers. The hustlers make their way to an office in the city, which they have pinpointed for their hit. This is a team scam. First, Jess must access the office by dressing as a member of the cleaning staff, whilst Alex and Paul move off to set up base around the corner. Now inside, Jess poses as a cleaner, tidying the office before the start of the working day. But amongst her cloths and polish, she is carrying the hustler's rigged keyboard, complete with onboard wireless keylogger. Jess scouts the office for a matching keyboard. Now a match has been found, she swaps the original for the keyboard fitted with the device. With the new keyboard in place, her job is done. Back in the van, the hustlers wait for the Mark to log on to her office computer before making their next move. Our secret cameras are in place in the office and the Mark has arrived at her desk. With the keylogger fully operational, Alex makes a call to her phone posing as a representative from her bank.
Hello, Buchanan speaking.
Oh, hi there. Is that...
It is now his aim to get the Mark to log on to her internet bank using the key-logged PC so that they are able to steal all her details and gain access for themselves. Paul is picking up the information on his laptop.
We're doing a quick security call to most of our customers. Is it all right to take 2 minutes up of your time?
Sure, no problem.
Without revealing your password, could you please give me the first and the third letters of your password?
No, I'd rather not do that.
However, the Mark is a savvy lady. She is questioning Alex. Does she think this is a scam?
Sorry, what do you want to know this for?
It's a security call that we're putting to our customers.
Unluckily for her, it is a scam, but she can't see how it's working. Alex doesn't need her to tell him the information over the phone. Everything he needs to know, she will be sending, obliviously, through the keyboard.
And all we're doing is just a security precaution, letting customers know to go online and check their accounts for any irregular activity. And we're also advising that customers change their passwords on their online accounts.
Okay, fine, I'll do that later.
However uncertain our Mark is, she is taking the measure of checking her internet bank anyway. After all, what harm can it do? Now, completely unwittingly, she really is playing into the hustler's hands.
That looks like a password to me.
Great. The mark has typed in all her account details, changed her password, and now the hustlers have all this information. The keylogger has certainly done its trick, and our team now have the key to her bank account. Obviously, our hustlers aren't really going to raid her account, but others haven't fared so well.
I didn't really know anything until the event was really over, because the bank phoned me and told me that someone had been making transfers from the account. In monetary sums, I had the first two payments of just about £4,000 each that were taking out. You feel that if your money's in the bank, it's safe, and clearly mine wasn't very safe.
If your front doorbell goes and you go to answer it and the person standing there says, "Hello, I'm from your bank, can you please give me all your security information and your passwords?" You just wouldn't do it. So if somebody phones you up or sends you an email asking for it, you shouldn't do it in that situation either. Find out what their head office number is, their switchboard number is, through either your bank statement or card statement, and phone them back so that you know that the person you're talking to is genuinely from your bank.
Well, pickpocketing has been around as long as pockets. It's one of the... Come on.
It's all based on body language, body movement, and there's something quite balletic, it's like a dance.
If you see a real expert at work, it's almost like watching magic, but it is theft, and if you've ever lost your wallet to pickpocket, you'll know that as cool as it might be, it's a pretty nasty thing to happen to you.
This next pickpocket scam has been reported to be on the rise in major UK cities. Watch out for it. It's the mustard dip. Keep your eye on this guy in the black coat.
Oh, excuse me, mate. You seem to have stuff on the back of your thing just there.
I'm sorry, I don't want to make it worse. It might be better if you just take your jacket off.
Oh, don't worry. I'll just take it in there.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's all down the back, just
It's
there.
all...
I've got some more tissues you can... Sorry.
It's all right.
Okay.
Bye.
If you've got your money in your jacket pocket, for instance, and you haven't made a provision as to put it anywhere else, and you've got £2,000, for instance, in your jacket pocket, and someone sprays something on your back, you look at them, you put your hand on your wallet, and you keep walking. You don't stop for them.
The flat rental scam is an excellent example of a group of hustlers selling something that just doesn't belong to them. It looks completely legitimate. You dress like an estate agent, you walk the walk, you talk the talk, everything has to look good.
I do have a personal acquaintance of mine that has performed the rental scam quite successfully. I think on one occasion he managed to sell a house 3 times within a week. The house didn't belong to him, it belonged to a friend of his. Did go to jail for it. It's one thing you've got to remember.
Con artists can obtain access to empty flats through dubious friends who work for estate agents, by acting as freelance flat sitters, or just good old-fashioned breaking and entering. Our hustlers are going to try and rent out this flat which they have been advertising on the internet. They're about to meet a wannabe tenant. Can they convince her to put down a deposit? Alex is playing the part of a letting agent, and Jess is pretending to be someone who has just viewed the property. Even before Alex meets the mark, the deception has already begun.
Okay, excuse me for one moment. Amber?
Yes.
You're Amber. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Roy. And Candice. Nice to meet you. I'm Roy. Can you just give me 1 second? If you want to give me a call, I'll give you a card.
Oh, thank you.
All right?
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, it's lovely to meet you.
Good to meet
anyway.
you too.
You take care.
All right. Come with me. Hello.
As Jess leaves, her part in the scam already over, Alex leads the potential tenants into the flat.
So come in. Okay, if you'd like to have a look at the bedroom. You can see it's quite good size. There we go. Abigail's dream. Have a look at it. We've got fridge, freezer.
So how much, what is it a week?
It is $7.50 a month.
The tenant seems interested, but they need to gently put on the pressure. Time for a phone call from Paul, pretending to be another keen tenant.
It doesn't include the, excuse me, it doesn't also include the council tax, but that's £61 a month, which is pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Excuse me, I must take this. Hello?
Hi, is that Roy? Roy, it's Paul Wilson. I saw the flat earlier.
Oh, yes, you did. If you are looking at a deposit, it will have to be today.
Could you hold the flat for me?
I can't hold it now. I've got people here now, and obviously they have first choice. But if you give me a call, it's going to be, I'm going to be finished in about 5-10 minutes, by about 8 o'clock. I'll give you a call straight back. Okay, thanks. Good?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah.
Have a seat. Have you got anything you put down today?
I do have a little bit of cash on me and I have a checkbook.
Okay. How much cash have you got with you?
£100, would that be okay?
We could do £100 cash and $150 check. That'd be fine.
No,
Yeah?
that's all right with me.
Yeah. So have you got the cash?
Great, they've convinced her. She's going for it, putting down a deposit on a flat that the guys don't even own.
Okay, I'll give you something to write on. And here's a pen.
The cheque will now be cashed quickly at a high street pawnbroker before she realises it's a scam.
That's fantastic. Took a while, but we got it. The things to look out for so that you don't fall for the scam is background checks on the estate agent. Go to their offices. It's very difficult for hustlers to set up a whole office just for the rental scam. Another thing, if there's any suspicion that you have about something not quite sounding right, don't hand over any money, no matter how desperate you are to put down a deposit. Just be aware of these things and you'll be safe.
And so our hustlers have finished their travels around the UK for this week. They played Monty at the seaside, ripped off a jeweller for £600, hacked a computer and rented out a flat that wasn't even theirs. Don't worry though, all the people they scammed got their money back. Just remember the rule of the real hustle. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
And we'll have more Real Hustles next week at the same time. Can you afford to miss it? Next tonight though, if you're planning a wedding anytime soon, you can't afford to miss Wedding Stories.